Hello everyone and welcome to day 3 of week 4 of Beyond Resolutions. Tomorrow we have an epic workout for you, but today we're going to offer you guys a nice mobility session to make sure you're ready for the workout to come. Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à jour 3 de semaine 4 de Au-delà des résolutions. Aujourd'hui, on a une séance de mobilité à vous offrir qui va vous préparer pour le workout épique qu'on va vous offrir demain pour la dernière journée de Au-delà des résolutions. All right, everyone, we're going to start off with stretching the wrists. I kind of did my fingers here, but it's going to be the wrists. So I want you to splay your fingers out like this, hands on the floor, and make sure we're in a quadruped position so that we're having a bit of weight on our hands. Okay, now we're going to be rocking forward and backwards with the elbows locked out, and each time you rock forwards, I want you to push your fingers into the floor to send you backwards. Ok, alors on va basculer pendant 3 à 5 respirations, et lorsque vous basculez vers l'avant, on appuie les doigts qui sont écartés au sol pour nous envoyer vers l'arrière. N'oubliez jamais de respirer. Et comme j'ai dit, on est là pour 3 à 5 grandes respirations. Là, on va retourner les mains vers l'extérieur. Et si on peut, on va pointer les doigts vers nous. So we're going to rotate our fingers outwards until they're facing us. If you can't reach that, that's totally fine. I just recommend that you go side to side like this, and then you can rock side to side. If you can reach all the way back, then we're going to do the same. Forward and backwards rocking, pushing your fingers into the floor as you rock backwards. Okay, and like I said, for anybody who's lacking a bit of wrist mobility, then the side to side with your fingers pointed outwards is completely acceptable. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Make sure to give your muscles some oxygen for this. Very good. And 3, 2, 1. Come on back to neutral now. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to do some wrist push-ups, I like to call them. So our fingers are going to stay on the floor, but our palms are going to come up off the floor. And then the way that you're going to make this harder for yourself is by putting a bit more weight into your arms, making it easier for yourself by sitting back onto your heels more and more. Okay, so you're going to be pushing up, holding, and then coming down. We're going to do that for 10. Okay, ready? And 1, hold, down. 2, hold, down. 3, hold, down. 4, hold, down. 5, hold, down. 6, hold, down. 7, down. 8, down. 9, down. And 10, and down. Very nice. This time we're actually going to do the opposite, keeping our palms on the floor and lifting our fingers off the floor. Pearl, you want to give us a demo of that? Yes, so you can see how she can keep her arms straight. I personally cannot keep my arms straight. Roger, how about you? If I keep my arms straight, I'm not bringing my fingers off the floor. So bend your elbows as needed if you need to. No, nothing's happening. Same here. So again, we're gonna lift up, hold, and then down. Okay, so I'm gonna just bring my elbows back a bit so I can lift my fingers off at least a little bit, and let's go. 1, hold, down. 2, down. 3, down. 4, down. 5, down. 6, down. 7, down. 8, down. 9, down. And 10, and down. Very nice. That's gonna work the wrists a little bit. Now bring your knees up towards your hands, and then I want you just to sit on your heels rather, while bending your wrists in towards you. Okay, so deep breath. Not putting any weight or anything like that, just there's the natural weight from having your wrists bend. That's gonna be fine. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, we can bring our hands together like this and we can just do some wrist figure eights here because we are gonna actually go back to a quadruped position and then we're gonna be doing some flexion and extension of our spine. Okay, so everybody knows cat-cow. We're gonna do a little bit of cat-cow, bringing the hips towards the rib cage and rounding your back as much as possible for the cow position, and then that cat position, or that's the cat position I think, and then the cow position. We're gonna extend the back as much as possible and reach your chin as high as possible. All right, so hands on the floor, knees under your hips, and let's inhale and arch the back as much as possible. And exhale, round the back as much as possible. That's it. And inhale, arch the back. And exhale, round the back as much as possible. Inhale, arch the back. And exhale, round the back. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale. And last one, inhale. And exhale. And relax. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit back into child's pose from here. So we should be able to just bring our feet close together, our knees wide. Ok, alors on va croiser les orteils en arrière, on va écarter les genoux, et on va s'asseoir sur les talons. Okay, so we're gonna sit back on the heels. Perla is gonna demonstrate a version with a yoga block or some elevated platform to give you, to go get a little bit more range of motion. Okay, Roger and I are gonna stay on the floor and we're gonna hit this child's pose with the arms reaching out in front and the head going through the arms. Okay, so pour la position de l'enfant, on va allonger les bras devant nous, on va passer la tête entre les bras et on s'assoit le plus qu'on peut vers les talons. Et aussi, on va respirer dans cette position. Après votre prochaine respiration, je veux que vous effectuez 10 levées de bras. Alors on va faire une rotation externe des pouces, pointer les pouces vers le haut et on va lever un bras à la fois pour un total de 10, 5 de chaque côté. Okay, so we're going to lift our arms off the floor with a little external rotation in the arms and let's go. Keep that head down, keep that spine long. Once you're done 10 of those, then I want us to come back to just a regular child's pose with the hands flat on the floor and passing your head through for another 3 to 5 deep breaths. Breathing, very important here. Okay, if you're not breathing, then it's a very good chance that you're letting yourself get overwhelmed by maybe any discomfort in this position. Very important to breathe and relax. And 3, 2, 1, come on back to a neutral position. And speaking of breathing, we're now gonna lay on our back and do some belly breathing, okay? Before we do that though, let's go into that hexagon that we were discussing. Normally we don't rehearse before the recording starts, but today we made sure to make a point of knowing what we're doing before we start. So, we're gonna be laying on our backs, okay? And I just want you to find a comfortable position on your back. Once you're in your comfortable position, by the way, this can be done from a seated position if you wish, but why do it seating when you can do it laying down? Okay, one hand on your chest, the other hand on your belly. We're gonna perform 5 deep breaths, and for these deep breaths, I want to encourage you to do the following, okay? Inhale and breathing, rising your chest first, and then your stomach, and then as you exhale, I want you to go stomach down, and chest. Okay, so it's going to be like a wave, if you will. The chest is going to rise first, then the belly is going to lower first, and then the chest. Okay, and I really want us to focus on breathing as deeply as possible when we're inflating that belly. Okay, so starting with breath number 1, inhale, chest, belly, and exhale, belly, chest. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and one more time, inhale, and exhale. Very nice. All right, now we're gonna be doing a single leg tuck. So I want you to bring one leg in towards you, but I want you to try and keep in mind keeping your lower back on the floor. So imagine I'm trying to fit my fingers or my foot underneath your lower back, and if you have an arched back, I'll be able to do so. If you consciously push your back into the floor, then I definitely won't be able to. Okay, and try and maintain that contact while you bring your knee in. Now Roger's doing a version where maybe you can't quite reach with your hand. So as you can see, he's wrapping the band around his leg, and then he's bringing it in just like this. That could be replaced by a towel or a t-shirt or anything too, if you wish, but we're just trying to keep that back pressed into the floor, bringing your knee in towards your chest as close as possible. And like I said, 3 to 5 deep breaths in all positions. 3 à 5 grandes respirations. La respiration peut aider à réduire le stress, à améliorer votre sommeil, ainsi que ça peut aussi aider la digestion, si vous pouvez croire. Parce que lorsque vous faites travailler votre diaphragme, ça va aussi faire travailler les autres organes et ça va nous aider à digérer mieux ça va aider notre digestion, voilà. Et 3, 2, 1, on lâche cette jambe et on va faire la même chose avec l'autre jambe. Ok. Alors, grande respiration en tenant cet étirement. Vous voyez Roger qui tient avec l'élastique. Vous pouvez remplacer l'élastique avec une serviette ou un t-shirt ou quoi que ce soit. Une ceinture d'ailleurs. Inspirez du nez. Souffle de la bouche. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Very good. Making sure that you're not letting your knee fall out to the side. I want you to really try and bring it up in front towards your pectoral muscles, as opposed to letting it fall and bringing it towards your shoulder. 3, 2, 1, and we can let go of that leg. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a T-spine twist, so a thoracic spine or upper back twist. So what I want everyone to do is let's go onto our side, let's go onto our right shoulder. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bend our knees at 90 degrees. Okay, and you can use the bottom hand to hold your top knee down so that your knees stay stacked. The other thing that you can do if you're A, flexible enough, and B, if you're comfortable, is tucking your top foot under your bottom knee. That way it's going to encourage a little bit more rotation downward on this side. Okay, now with the top arm, we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to open like a book. The goal here is going to try and get both scapular or both shoulder blades to the floor. Did I hear a little chuckle? Good. It's okay. It's just the twist we're looking for. Absolutely. Making sure that you're looking in the direction of your arm as well. Okay, bring your arm back forward again. Okay, inhale. And as you exhale, open up like a book. Watch your hand as it goes back. Very good. Only one more time. So if you're finding this uncomfortable, make sure you're breathing. I know it's hard, easier said than done in this twisted position. Okay, come on forward again. And one more time. Open up nice and big. 3, 2, 1, and come on back. All right, let's switch over to the other side now so we can unhook our legs, do whatever we got to do to make sure we transfer safely to the other side. So we're going to be on our left shoulder this time. Now, once again, you can tuck your top foot under your bottom knee if that's more comfortable for you. If not, you can just stack your knees 90 degrees and then the bottom hand holds them down. Ok, alors vous pouvez faire les deux orientations des jambes. Voilà, Perla fait les jambes croisées et oh, Roger le fait aussi, je pense. Ouais. Ok, moi je fais avec les deux genoux empilés. Ok, le bras qui est par-dessus, on prend une grande respiration et on va ouvrir la poitrine et on regarde la main pendant que ça va vers l'arrière. On prend des grandes respirations pendant qu'on est là. Et pendant votre prochaine respiration, on ferme le livre. Inspirez du nez et pendant que vous expirez, on va ouvrir de nouveau le livre et on regarde la main. Et on revient vers l'avant. Et encore une fois, on va ouvrir le livre. On essaie de garder les deux omoplates au sol, si on peut. Et on revient vers l'avant. Très bien. Et on se couche sur le dos encore une fois. Ok, alors, so we're going to lay on our back one more time. This time, it's going to be the opposite. So our shoulders are actually already going to be on the floor. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to turn my hat around here. Stay tuned, folks. All right, so we're going to be laying, it's more comfortable. Okay, so we're going to be laying on the floor. The shoulder blades are already on the floor. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a figure 4 stretch where the right leg, for example, is going to go on top of the left knee. And what we're going to do here is we're going to put our arms out for stability and we're just going to let our knee and foot fall to the side. Ok, alors on va mettre le pied droit par exemple par-dessus le genou gauche et on va laisser tomber à la gauche. Et on va créer une torsion dans le bas du dos. We're going to create a little bit of twisting in the lower back. It in through the nose, out through the mouth. Once again, breathe. And come on back to neutral. We're going to go one more time, breathe. And let those knees fall. and come on back to neutral. All right, we're gonna switch sides now. So, other foot down, other foot on top of the knee. Okay, and from here, deep breath. We're gonna let that knee and foot fall to the side. On va laisser tomber le genou et le pied vers le côté, tout en gardant les deux omoplates au sol. Trois, 2, 1, on revient à la position neutre et encore une fois, grande respiration, on va laisser tomber le genou et le pied. And come on back to the center, and now back to a neutral position. Let's both feet on the floor. All right, everyone, we're now going to do Happy Baby. Okay, so this one, I want you to watch par là for the advanced option here. Roger and I are going to stick with the with the intermediate and beginner options here. Okay, so essentially Happy Baby, what you want to do is you want to hook your toes with your fingers. Okay, and you want to bring your knees in towards your armpits. Okay, now Perla is very flexible in this way, so she's gonna extend her legs. She's gonna do a whole bunch of different stuff to go and get as much range of motion as possible. Roger and I are gonna stick with the other options that you've got to just hold on to your toes or for dear life, and then just do what we can here. Okay, maybe extend one leg at a time, right? If you can. This is like an all-encompassing stretch. The other thing is if you can't reach your toes, that's totally fine. Just bring your knees, hug your knees in, like so. Ok, alors on veut essayer de chercher la pleine amplitude dans Happy Baby. Ok, alors si on peut faire les splits, si on peut amener les pieds vers la tête, très bien, tant mieux. Mais si vous n'arrivez pas à même toucher les orteils, ce n'est pas grave, ça ne dérange pas. On peut juste amener les genoux vers la poitrine et tenir comme ça pour 3 à 5 respirations. Bravo, bravo, continuez comme ça. Continuez à respirer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Et on lâche doucement cet étirement. We're going to release that stretch nice and gently. Very nice. All right, we can all come into a seated position now. Perfect. And I'm going to turn my hat back around because these CLA caps, I find I look better with them backwards. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the 90-90 sequence. Okay, this is one of my favorite sequences. Why? Because I've got tight hips. Okay, if you've got tight hips, it's not a problem for you, but it's still going to help. It's still going to help your range of motion. Not only that, but this one particularly builds a little bit of strength within those positions too, because mobility equals flexibility and stability and strength. Correct. So you need all three to have good mobility, right? So you could be flexible, but then if you need to get up from that position or use any sort of tension in your muscles, it may not work, right? So let's put our feet outside of our hips, hands in behind. And we're just gonna let our knees fall from side to side as a baseline. So this will be our baseline. We're just gonna let our knees fall to the side and then the other side, some windshield wipers. Et alors on va faire les essuie-glaces. Juste comme ça. Ok. Et on va aussi prendre note des angles. Ok. Alors ça s'appelle 90-90 pour un raison. On veut 90 entre le tibia et les cuisses. Ok. Le fémur. Alors Assurez-vous que vous avez 90 degrés entre chaque. Okay, so make sure you have 90 degrees at the knees. And also 90 degrees between your legs as well. So if you find one foot is closer or something like that, then push it out to 90 degrees. All right, from here I want you to choose one side. Let's choose the left side here. Okay, so we'll let our knees fall to the left side and then come up over your shin. Grab onto your foot, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our chin over our shin, and then we're gonna do some body waves. So we're gonna lower our chin and chest towards the floor, then chin comes to the chest, and then we roll up one vertebrae at a time. Just like we're floating in the ocean, we're falling and rising. Falling and rising, like we're floating on the top of the ocean. We're doing some body waves. Alors on fait des ondulations du corps. Doucement, vous pouvez aller aussi profondément que vous voulez. Okay, so you can go as deep as you want or as shallow as you want. Très bien. Maintenant, je veux que vous réajustez votre angle. Au lieu d'être au-dessus du tibia, je veux que vous êtes au-dessus des orteils. Alors, le nez au-dessus des orteils, the nose over the toes. And let's do the same body waves. You're probably not going to be able to go as deep, but that's okay. Maybe you can do more frequent, but less deep. Et alors, on va nez au-dessus des orteils et on continue les ondulations corporelles. Comme ça. Et on fait ça tout en gardant 90 degrés entre le genou avant, le genou arrière et entre les deux jambes. All right, very good. This time I want you to come back over your shin, au-dessus du tibia. We're gonna bring the chest down as low as possible, and then we're gonna oscillate from one side to the other side. And as we're kind of gliding from one side to the other, then we're looking in that direction as well. So looking towards the back, looking towards the front. And while we're doing this, what are we doing here? We're scanning for any tight areas. So in my case, I'm tight everywhere, but if you do find a spot that's particularly tight, let's say over towards your toes, then you're gonna stop there. You're gonna do a couple body waves just to loosen it up, and then get that chest down as low as possible again, and then keep oscillating from one side to the other, okay? Alors on va balayer de un côté à l'autre, et en balayant, on va essayer de trouver des endroits où peut-être c'est un peu plus serré, et on peut faire des ondulations avant de retourner aux ondulations. Pas aux ondulations, oui, merci, au va-et-vient. Et on regarde dans le sens où on va. Okay, so we're looking in the direction that we're going. Forward and backward. Good, and 3, 2, 1. Stay low, but I want you to get onto your elbow now. Same elbow as the knee that is on the floor. Now, that's in front, I should say. Now from here, we're gonna take a deep inhale and open up our chest as wide as possible. And as we exhale, we're gonna do a dive underneath the ribs, trying to get the other elbow to the floor as well. Et grande inspiration, et on va ouvrir le livre. And exhale, on va expirer et essayer d'amener le coude au sol. Inspiration, et on va ouvrir le livre. Et expiration, on va plonger en dessous. Très bien, on met les deux mains au sol et on revient au-dessus du tibia. We're going to come back over our shin, and then one more body wave to come on back up, one vertebrae at a time to a neutral position. And now from here, I want us to just switch over to the other side without retesting the baseline. We're gonna retest at the end. So let's switch over to the other side now. Oh man, that hip is like way looser now. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have 90 degrees in the back leg, 90 degrees in the front leg, and 90 degrees between both legs, right? So we want to make sure if we accidentally slipped into like our feet being closer, we want to make sure 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. All right, from here, hand on the foot, chin over shin, and let's do some body waves. That's it. And even if it means at home that like maybe you're like, Coach Saul isn't in the room, I think I'm gonna bring my foot a little bit closer. Even if you can't get as deep with your leg out in the position it's supposed to be, that's okay. I want you to work in this position, because if you always work with your foot under that 90 degree, you're not going and getting the best range of motion possible, right? So I want you to make sure that you're challenging yourself. Good. And now we want to go nose over the toes. Alors le nez au-dessus des orteils, et on continue avec les ondulations corporelles. Very good. All right, now this time I want you to lower your chest as low as you can. Ok, on va baisser la poitrine le plus qu'on peut et on va juste basculer de un côté à l'autre. On va regarder dans la direction qu'on va. On va vers l'avant, on regarde vers l'avant, on va en arrière, on regarde vers l'arrière. C'est ça, on reste bas, bas, bas. On cherche les endroits un peu plus serrés. Très bien. Et là, on reste bas, mais on met le coude en arrière. Okay, so we're going to stay low, but we're going to get our elbow in behind. We're going to open up our chest with a deep breath. Et là, on va plonger en dessous des côtes. Puis on va essayer de mettre les deux coudes au sol. Encore une fois, on ouvre la poitrine. Et on va en dessous. Troisième fois. Et on va en dessous. On reste vers le bas. We're going to stay low. On revient au-dessus du tibia. We're going to come back over the shin. And now one last body wave to come on up. All right, and the final thing that we're going to do here to test if that made a difference. So you remember the beginning when we were doing the windshield wipers. We're now going to go back to the windshield wipers, feet outside the hips, and let's let our knees fall. And you should feel, yeah, a huge difference. And you know what? Even if you're like me and your knee's not quite down to the floor yet, I still feel as though when I'm rotating inwards, even if I push it, it's not like painful or there's a lot less stiffness, right? Pearl's down on the floor. She's like,
it's because I do it often.
Right.
The more you do it, the more flexible.
Absolutely.
I need it. You always do.
Absolutely, we do. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well done, everyone. We're just going to keep doing this side to side. Second last day of Beyond Resolutions. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the last epic finale. On se voit demain pour le final épique. Et bravo dans cette séance de mobilité. À demain. Good job, gang.
Yes.
That was awesome.